Hello, my friends. Good evening. I am outside of Monticello, Utah, in a cool little Airbnb under a big rainy cloud. And that's just luck of the draw. I haven't watered since Thursday. This is Sunday. But it is kind of amazing. Most of the atmosphere is clear except right over my head. It's a blessing. I wanted to give you a quick report on this roller coaster that has become the Southwest Project's 2026. Real quickly, and I'm going to walk around this cool Airbnb site so you can have interesting things to look at, because I don't have time to edit in all the footage that I should. Or we'll go this way first. So I came out here around July 10th to New Mexico, southwestern New Mexico, Kingston, to try and help facilitate the onset of monsoon season. It hadn't started. Normally they say monsoon season starts on July 4th weekend. It was trickling but not really raining, and we had extremely good fortune and good luck. Check out this place. This is a geodesic Airbnb, and got rain each of the 3 days I watered there in Kingston with Catherine and Gary at Black Range Lodge. It was wonderful. And I went immediately over to Colcord Mountain Estates in Arizona. Got 4 rains in 3 days of watering. And on July 13th and 14th, it really felt like things had snapped into place. And when you look at rain records, they had. The whole system started circulating, the Four Corners region of the Southwest. Utah fires were put out, a couple of major fires, the Babylon fire and the Cottonwood fire. These were around 100,000 acres each. The Aspen Acres fire over in eastern Colorado, closer to Kansas, was put out, et cetera, et cetera. Just incredible results after that first week of watering. Then the truck busted, and I was rescued by my friends, my supporters, my family, and we've been back on the road now for 2.5 weeks. I left the truck in Bayfield near Durango. So I left the truck in Durango, got repaired by my new friends over at American Auto in Bayfield. David, who ironically spent some time in Austin, was a huge help with that. And I got started watering in Durango on July 31st. The immediate outcome was a little bit of rain after two waterings. And so I thought, great, we're rocking. This is going to be what I thought it was when I made this plan, which was I'll go to Durango for 2 or 3 days, as I had done in Kingston and Colcord, Arizona, and then I'll move on up to Oregon, because the fires are so bad there. When I started watering in Durango on the 3rd day, I realized things were not what I thought. The drought was much more severe, much deeper than the U.S. Drought Monitor indicated. And so I looked into things a little more. The Durango area over the last 11 years is short about 6 years worth of rainfall. And they are downwind. What I experienced then was this roller coaster back and forth, this seesaw up and down of, I would water and things would start going well, and as soon as I stopped watering, literally within hours, things would stop going well. I also maybe watered the wrong trees for the first few days in Durango, because I went to what I thought were big leafy deciduous trees, and I later realized were waxleaf trees. But again, back to the drought and the severity of the conditions there. They are downwind. Durango's sort of at the bottom southwest end. It's a good starting point for the Colorado forest system and the way moisture circulates in the summer from the southwest up into the north central parts of Colorado and everything. Durango, however, has not gotten snow this year, has had, I think, not a single month with an inch of rain yet this year. Here we are almost, through August now. Today's August 16. And they are downwind of some of the most ecologically devastated land in the country, the Ute Reservation land. According to the U.S. Forest Service maps of about 1905, there used to be a lot of trees through there. There used to be a lot of vegetation through there, and now it's a desert. It's a real desert. It's a difficult place to be. And we experienced this extreme set of conditions for the first week and a half of watering in Durango, where it just got hotter and hotter. The heat index, was kind of off the wall. We were 14 degrees above average pretty much every day of the middle of the watering cycle out there in Durango. 14 degrees. It was hard to know what to do, and I realized I needed to water larger, wilder trees. I went to Bayfield and started watering between Durango and Bayfield instead of Durango and the Durango area, and immediately that shifted things better in our favor. And by about Monday of this week, I felt confident that we were going to be okay. We would get them out of the fire weather. So I watered Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then came up to Moab Thursday night and spent the last couple days trying to just look at everything, how serious fire is in the Oregon area, the Washington, fires, and so on and so forth. I have really good news about the Southwest. The fires essentially came to a halt, as best I can tell, in Colorado and Utah in the last several days. The fires, however, are sparking back up in northern New Mexico, or continuing. The Frijoles fire is still growing. Most of the other fires, also in Oregon, are not growing this weekend. They're halted in place, and so I assume everyone's getting this cool, soft weather. The weekend weather in Durango was incredible. I've got snapshots of that. The temperature dropped back down into the 70s and 60s yesterday. I think it was 67 at 5 p.m. or something like that, after having been 97, just a week earlier. So this is all connected. I'm not sure how. I can't say for sure that we had an effect. At the same time, if you look at what has happened to the region, it's like, well, other than getting rain, this is the goal. We were trying to eliminate fire weather, and that is what has happened. That's always goal number one: eliminate fire weather conditions. And where I am right now is adjacent to one of the worst affected areas, the Babylon fire. And you can see that it's gorgeous here today. It's green. The yellow grasses have green in them. So the precipitation that's come through and the moist air that's here now is it's enough for now. What I don't know is where we'll be on this Thursday, next week. And so I feel like I need to stick around this region a few more days. Again, it's been a roller coaster. I came out here thinking I was going to be here in this area for just a few days and then move on. Then I sort of thought I was getting my butt kicked a little bit. Then I realized, yes, of course I am. Look at the conditions here. This is the same basic super challenge that Texas was in 2023, 24, 25, and we turned it in 2026. They said on May 31st, they said that Austin was going to have its maybe hottest summer ever. And instead we had the 38th coolest July and June, Anyway, we can fix these problems with this strategic watering, because all it's doing is recapacitating what was already working. We have a dehydrated forest circulation system. If you rehydrate it, you get forest circulation back. And everyone's efforts in this are making a huge difference. What I'm trying to say is I came out here to try and eliminate fire weather, and it took a lot longer than I thought it would, and it's taking manifestations that I don't quite understand. but I mean, because they're huge. This is 2 states again that are just in much better shape all of a sudden than they were. It's a mega scale positive change that you could associate with the waterings that we just did for 2 weeks in Durango because of where the geographical locations of this mega scale change is. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. I just know that it's good that it's happening, and that whenever I water trees, we get cool, moist air and the fire weather goes away. And once the system is ready, we get good rains. We need good rains here. There's rain in the forecast for later this week. I don't want to see that diminish. I want to help bring that. So again, I think I'm probably going to stay right here in Monticello, which is the closest and worst affected Utah forest system right next to the Colorado forest system this summer that needs attention. I think that will help the whole grand scheme in Colorado. And then head off to Oregon. And I think this may be the summer that we can pull together the data to prove to people how effective this is. If you look at the Durango vapor pressure deficit readings, it inexplicably they decrease. It becomes moister air each of the days I water, and then when I stopped watering, it goes right back up. This vapor pressure deficit that is a national weather gauge. So anyway, things are just, look at that. Things are going pretty good. I want to make sure they stay good. And I got a little off track here, but these are all the things on my mind about what should be done next to help the Southwest projects kind of end on a pretty good note. I may also come back here, last thing I'll say, I may also come back here on my way home and do some waterings again in the Durango area, the Kingston area. I have kind of open possibilities there to work again and just keep moving. Right now, most of the worst afflicted areas are doing pretty good. And yeah, we want to see everything doing really well. I will continue watering, and hopefully you'll start watering too, and we'll see more and more of that. So thanks for watching this report. Let's check in. I will try to give you something more substantial in a day-by-day way soon, and wishing you a good week. Thanks again. Bye.